All right, much clarity on this Hermes Day. Peace, love, and gnosis. All chakras lit. 3 fin star systems. Okay. In this frequency transmission, I will be expanding upon the North Node line with Deneb Adige. Yeah. And appearing which ring of the North Node transiting for you by descension, by evolution, or by native progression is where, you will ascend through, you know, a clever intellect that's quick at learning and the nature of ingenuity. So, first house, first ring, like, you personally being, clever, quick at learning, ingenious about your vessel, you know, about, about your personal things, about personal issues, your physical vessel, like you just flowing with that wisdom is how you would ascend. Second ring, shit like that, you being ingenious about your money, budgeting, ways to spend, learning, you know, learn how to maintain better, ingenious ways of maintain, learn new ways of how to maintain, learn new ways of earning income, second house is space to earn income, ingenious values, your talent is ingenuity at this time. You know, and cleverness. Third arena, geniuses in the neighborhood, genius kin, genius siblings, you are being prospered with doing better in school, primary school, um, you know, ingenious ways of shifting 3D location, quick ways. Fourth arena, you have been gifted with the wisdom to be ingenious at home, clever ways of, sailing and navigating the rivers of the home front, Mother's more clever at this time, ingenious at this time, you know. Fifth ring, your young ones. Fifth ring, you know, rule over children, ingenious hobbies, clever hobbies, learn new hobbies quickly, learn like new music quickly, new art quickly, casual sexual partners, you are making and dating geniuses, genius ways of dating, ingenuity in dating, your ingenuity leads you to win the lottery, speculations, you know. Sixth ring, ingenuity at work, cleverness in service, ingenuity, you know, employing ingenuity in service. They're doing the same old tried and true way, you know, doing something new. Health, you know, diet, you know, daily routine, stuff like that. Like, you know, like you know, you become quicker in your daily routine, you know. Self-friend, you know, ingenious ways doing relationships, you know, ingenious ways of handling your ops, you know. You are more clever than your ops. Particularly, it's an aspect in your first arena rule. You're more clever than your ops, you know. Ingenious ways of doing business, you know. Your cleverness is, you know, is savored as you're doing business, you know. A for real, ingenious occultism, you know. The occultism come to you like this, like, you know. You're not just muddling through it, struggling with, you know, stuck on page mode, shit like that. Gain inheritances by being clever, you know. Ingenious ways of doing insurance, you know. Being too clever be the end of you, be a death for you, you know. Um, but who won't be witless anyways? Who won't be dull sword anyways? Ingenious ways of connecting with your partner, you know, clever ways of connecting with your partner deeply, intimately, like, you know, not for real, you know, receiving no olive branches, being lauded as the most clever in the class, most ingenious, being lauded for your ingenuity in your post-secondary education, higher learning, you know, for the most ingenious one at the temple, being lauded as the most high guru in the temple at that time. 10 for ring, your stats and cleverness, stature, cleverness, ingenuity. Your 3D stature. 11 ring, your associations, clever, ingenious. Y'all genius clique, y'all genius crew at this time, stuff like that. Almost clever ones around. And 12 ring, you know, ingenious and clever ways of connecting with divine, you know, your hidden ops are more clever than you know. Ingenious, they are flowing with ingenious ways to, you know, sabotage you, ingenious dissolutions, you know. But I, okay, for hysterical reads, for how this transit will, you know, affect you initially, transmit frequencies meeting 7th, 8th, and 9th for real. Polaris Moon 2724 at gmail.com. All right, much love, y'all later.